Hi and welcome to Scotty Wandering. This is going to be my first video in a series of 15 videos showing 17 different campgrounds in the Chequamegon-Nicolet National Forest in northeast Wisconsin. I've done two, I think, in the western part of the state. I'll add those to the playlist here at the end of the video. So the first video I'm going to show you here is a comparing and contrasting between Boulder Lake and Bagley Rapids to show you what different amenities are like and what the camping experience would be like between the two. So let's get started. This campground has a dump station. It's got a boat ramp, and you can put any kind of boat in here. It does have some restrictions though. After 5 until p.m. till 10 a.m. it's no wake, which means it's the perfect time to go paddling for the sunrise or sunset. And the town has its own restrictions. Because it's a small lake, counterclockwise travel only, and water skiing hours are only in that 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. range. And the top amenity for a state forest campground at $18 a night is they got shower houses. 2 shower houses, each one with 2 showers. First loop, that's site 4. Small little pad. There is a big section over here if you wanted to bring your RV in over there. There's no power in this little loop here. This is a power-free loop. We got basic pit toilets. Access to the beach is pretty easy. And they're all small little sites. All for first come, first serve, non-reservable. And there's nobody here because I camp midweek, not on the weekends. I think half of what you... And guess I'll note now, this is a very thickly wooded campground. So you're not going to get any solar in here if that's what you need. And Starlink won't work either. And on the other side of that, the cell service here is very spotty, very, very thin. So that can be a good thing or a bad thing. It just means you can't work camp from here. All right, so we've looked at the first loop and the host is here. There is a second host up here. Second camp host up there. It doesn't actually say that, but there is one up here. We're going to walk our way up. The beach was here. We'll take a look at this section. These are electric sites that are reservable. We'll take a look at the beach section. And then we'll come up and see what this is like. Now, note the wetlands here, and there are sort of little swampy areas throughout. The mosquitoes do exist here. They can get... I mean, I was here when it was down in the 50s, and I was having mosquitoes buzzing me. I can't imagine what it's like in the heat. All right, here's your basic fees. A regular non-electric site is $18. With electric, adds $10 for $28. Small group sites up to 16 people, $60 a night. Large group sites up to 30, $75 a night. Now those are the prices if you show up and go for first come, first serve. A lot of these sites are first come, first serve. A lot of them are reservable through recreation.gov. Those sites, quite a few of them, I think there's some premium sites on the recreation.gov site. If you reserve them, you're going to pay extra. If you show up on the midweek and take your chances and pick your site, you're going to pay the $18 a night. All right, let's check out loop 9 through 16. These are reservable electric across the road from the beach. So it's still very convenient to the beach. Here's 9, short pad, very slopey, flatter off on the side. Got 10 over here, a little bit of a slope too. Good drainage. Now, don't remember if I mentioned what's amazing about this place as a state forest campground for 18 bucks a night. Everything is paved beautifully. All your pads are paved. You're not going to get stuck in the mud here. And it's also great for the kids and their bikes, scooters, whatever, to enjoy. There's 11 with a small little RV in it. 14 is up here on the hill, so you park down below and stay up top. 12 over here backs up to a septic field. 15 over here. They've kind of gone in sideways to fit in there. They've done an amazing job of squeezing that in. But you can see there's a whole tent site up top. 16 over here. Not very deep. You do run into stones there. Now, and this is right by the shower house. Just past the reservable electric loop near the beach is the road coming up here where you're at the lake on the left and non-lake on the right. So the ones on the right are non-reservable, so these are all first come, first serve. And the ones on the left are reservable. And this is why the numbering system makes no sense on the reservation system, because it only shows you these and not these. So it's like showing the even numbers over here and not the odd numbers. But let's take a look at what one of these sites is like. Now this one, I'm kind of up on the hill. I should have shown you an earlier one. And I might just do that. So that was a fairly short pad here. But you can bring your RV way in here if you want, or tent city out here, like next door has. Now coming off the site, and this one's higher than most, and the neighbor one is. A lot of them a little closer to the water. But you work your way down. Each site seems to have its own little path down. To its own little beach area. Sorry about the wind, but each beach area is sandy beach stretching out as far as you want to walk. So here's another one of those sites. The bathhouse is over there. Small pad over there to park. Then you got to come up the trail. Then you have all this room to spread out and your own little beach tucked in there. This is the next one over. Again, it's a step down. You got your own beach. You got your own beach. And a few minutes ago, there was a snapping turtle here laying her eggs. And this one has an extra bonus here in June, besides snapping turtles laying their eggs. It comes with iris. So this is reservable site 18. When you're coming here and you want to do first come, first serve, you check the dates that are reserved. This one is pretty much booked up for a couple weeks now, or for at least a couple sections. I could have grabbed this site. It wasn't taken on my night, and I was only here for one night. Do note this one as a reservable site. If you park your RV on here, it's not much wider than your RV to begin with. And it's a drop off on either side, so there's not a lot of room for even getting out of your stairs to get out of your RV. Now, one of the other things you can do with those nice little beaches is you can bring your boat. He's got a boat hiding back in there, and you can probably put it in and then beach it up on the beach and tie it off to the logs. Now they've squeezed a big RV in here. Remember, this is non-electric, but they have themselves a little propane generator out back. I assume there are generator hours here as well, but that's an option. So 28 over here, non-reservable on the other side. So I don't really feel the need to show you all the non-reservables, just give you a sense, because you're going to show up, pick the one you like that's available that fits your needs. The reservable ones over here, I'll give you some sense of. This is 29, fairly long pad. Can't go too much beyond because of rocks. Now there is a trail that goes around the marsh and brings you down here, so you can actually catch this trail right across from my site at 61. And this old pump, which doesn't work unfortunately, I hate it when the Baker pumps don't pump anymore, is just here as a trail marker. 31 over here, got a fair size fifth wheel in there. A little class C over here in 32, fairly level there. But you can see we're on the water section, but you can hardly tell that you're on the water. I'm sure you'll hear the boats on a nice summer day zipping around though. Yes, there's the shower house, but there are pit toilets scattered around. And let's take a look at the last couple that I would consider on the water and reservable. Got 34 over here. Got quite a bit of room hiding in there. This little camper van over here. I'm trying to read his number behind the leaves. 35, I think. And it's a bit of a walk out to their little beach spot. And that's the last of those. I'll go up and check. There's another section of reserve sites. We'll go check those out on the 37 to 89 section. So there's a lot of sites here. Now as we enter the next section of the campground, you know, we had all the waterfront stuff there. So we came in initially down here, went through all of that. Now we got these two loops up here. We're at another fee station, which is nice because once you pick your site, you don't want to have to go all the way back down here to the original fee station to pay. So there's one right in the middle for you. Now remember, unless you want to give them an extra $2, bring change, as in cash change. So that, because it's cash or check to pay for your site. If you bring cash, you're going to need the $18. That's a 10 and a 5 and a couple ones, rather than giving them a $20 bill. All right, this is the second shower house. We're going to check and show you a shower if it's available. It says vacant. Basic little shower, push button, hot water. Everything you need. Oh, and a water fill station, water bottle fill station. Now, I've heard stories from campers who are regular campers. They have to show up at the campground, send the kids off to do whatever, and they always find a dirt pile. Well, yes, this campground has a dirt pile, and there were 3 kids playing on it yesterday afternoon when I got here. Okay, so this loop behind the bathhouse with a camp host is also reservable sites. So you see like 40 here, very short site with power and a side section. 42, slope up, a little more of a pad up top, reservable. 43, small camper, old tire. And we'll continue around the loop. Old wellhead, not used anymore. So I think it's reservable. They kind of reserve the electric sites. But again, you don't have to. You can still do first come, first serve for these sites if you're not staying for a long time. Do have water here. 45 over here, that's fairly large. You can swoop your RV back in over there. 46 over on the left here. 47 on the outside. I'm guessing 48. I can't see the sign yet. Yeah, 48 over here. Plenty of room there, but there is a tree straight back. 49 on the right, fairly flat, but very short. Got rocks to stop you. 50 over here with the big fifth wheel, plenty of room there. 51 over here, quite a bit of room. That one's got some nice pines in the back. Probably a good place for some hammocks. 52 over here, room for something even bigger than that. 53 over here, it drops off after where they've parked. And they're kind of squeezed in, having to put the vehicle in sideways. 54 up here, they tucked way back up the hill there to get their level spot. Pretty big rig hiding up there. And that completes that reservable loop. Now that I'm back in the non-reservable, non-electric section, again, I'm not going to show you all these. It's just a nice wooded area with some, like I said, you'll pick what you want when you're here because you're not going to be able to pick it ahead of time. So you find the one you like, look to see if someone's left a tag on it or there's anything there, and stake your claim. All right, I'm up at Site 61. This is where I spent the night. Right across the way, some more information sign of do's and don'ts, and a trailhead. Let's take you around the site and I'm going to show you how beautifully cared for these sites are. All right, now I parked just off the pad because it was a little more level than it was on the pad. I made a big mistake last night. Had no idea the rain was coming, left my carpet out. And more importantly, I left the chair and the table out. Now, if you look here, it has just been raked beautifully clean out here. You probably, if you're really good, could maneuver an RV back into here if you wanted. But take a look at this. The site next to me, they have swept the path between them. So it's not just a kind of a trail between sites with friends. They made it very nice. So the people maintaining these sites, the hosts and whoever, have done a beautiful job at this campground. Probably also find some spots here. Actually, I think I could hammock right there. That looks about right. So when you're driving around looking for your site, you look to see if there's a tag on it. And then double check the date on the tag. Because this one, when I got here, had this tag sitting there, but those people had already left their tag. So I almost passed it up. So check the tags before you give up on a site. All right, because they're reservable, I'll show you them. 66 over here, very flat. Not very long, you got a tree at the back of the pad. Very nice. 65 across the way, just as nice, non-reservable. 68 here, again, very flat. Plenty of room back there. I have a feeling there's a loop over here that's reservable and a loop over here that's not. Yep, so I'm at a crossroads. Everything in this loop, non-reservable, all very nice. This side, 89 to 98, 89. This side, 81 to 89, reservable. We'll take a look. So this is where I remind you, if this has been useful to you, if you're finding the site you're looking for and you can reserve it, please note, I'm doing this in the rain for you. So please like and subscribe. And if you really find it useful and I can help you save some hassle, check out a super thanks down below. You can actually give me money. You don't have to. The ads are good enough, but I do appreciate it. 81, very flat site, slopes off on the side, so plenty of drainage, not worried about there. Very nice, very long site. Right across from it, 82, fairly long. It has a little slope to the side, but not bad. It's actually pretty. It slopes out there, but the pad is good. 84 on the left, This one's a fairly short pad, but you have a whole world off to the side to enjoy. Remember, these are non-electric. 83 over here, again, very flat. Nice layout, not very deep. 85 over here on the outside. We're about as far out as you can be into the woods. So if you sit quietly, who knows what kind of critters are going to come wandering by out here. 86 over here. Again, these are all very nice and very flat. 87 over here, very short pad. It does go quite a bit beyond in the gravel section. Very nice sites. 88 over here. Very nice little site. Again, very flat, quite long. This one backs up to its neighbor over there, so it's a good shared site with the other one. Access to the trail here. Let me go take a quick look to see what trail this is. Okay, so we are up here on the trail, which means if you want, and my trail access is right there. So you can actually take this trail right down to get to the beach. It's not a bad path. And the last reservable site, it does slope up a bit. If you're tenting, you're not going to care because the pad out there is very nice. If you're in a vehicle like mine, it might be a little too much slope for you. And the rock kind of gets in the way of pulling an RV back there. And again, these are non-electric. So that pretty much completes the reservable single family sites here. I'm going to take a look at the group sites as well. I drove up to the group campsite area, and the most important thing, they have a shower house. All right, this is in the small group section. This is the Ash site. It is reservable, but right now there is nobody reserved, so you could still first come first serve here. All must be in the paved gravel portions of the campsite. Don't put any on the vegetated section, so like a tent there and things, but not back further. So I think this one, small sites have 1 ring and 2 tables. This is the birch site with 2 pads and its large area to spread out. How far back does that go? I guess your tent, you can hide some tents quite a ways back there in the woods. This is the Cherry small group site. This one's got more of a pull through. Not as flat. Not as many flat spots in this one. All right, this is the Elm site, which has a pad here and a pad over there that connect around in the back. Now, all of these sites there's space between, so if you want to be alone, with your group, that's not a problem. But they also all seem to be close enough that if you needed a large group, you could take over the place and still be somewhat connected. That is just the septic field. Okay. And this, with again 2 pads, is the Maple group site, which also backs up to that septic field. Not quite a ball field, but make do with what you got. And this one is the Oak, which the main road's here, so you kind of come in this way. So there's a loop of all the small group campsites around, and this one is kind of on the main road coming in, not on that other loop. but it's fairly large. Got lots of room to set up out here. Now all those small group sites were on that side of the shower building, and there is another pit toilet or two along the way. Now I'm going to the other side to check out the large group sites. There's at least one section I probably won't be able to show you because it is occupied and I hear a lot of kids, and I'm just not going to show that on the channel. Now I'm at the Balsam site. There's overflow parking over here as well as the main section. Alright, so I got a fire ring, 2 tables over here, another table over there. So basically large groups get 3 tables. They can still share a fire ring. Interesting, because I would say don't put on the hill. So it's all gravelly, you know, and pretty flat on this one. All right, this is the Cedar site. Overflow parking over there. Nice area over here. I would go with Sleeping World over here, Activity World over there. So I'd probably move all those benches because you have the fire ring over here. And it's kind of divided off. Now as I come out of this, you go straight on over to the Hemlock section. So pretty much face to face here. Don't want to say back to back because I think that's not the way they're looking. All right, so this is the Hemlock. I don't see an overflow. Well, that's beyond it is the overflow. And all of these kind of drop off beyond the gravel pad. Plenty of room here. Now there's the last section up on the hill there. That's the spruce section that's occupied. There's a series of hammocks in the woods there that they've set up. Big group tent. Just giving generalized. I'm not going to poke my head in there. So that's Boulder Lake National Forest Campground in Chequamegon-Nicolet National Forest. But stay tuned. I'm going to do a second campground in this video. Put them together to compare and contrast different experiences. Now, if you're willing to forego some amenities like flush toilets, showers, maybe even water, I think you might have to bring your own water here. You can have a beautiful campsite like this with this off the other side. You're still in some deep woods, but instead of possibly spending your summer day listening to the sound of boats zipping around counterclockwise like NASCAR, you could be spending your time here listening to flowing water. So there are only a few sites that are really on the water out of the 30 sites here at the campground. They're non-reservable. They did have posted notices last year, and they're still sitting there saying they were taking comment about making these reservable sites by this summer. They're still not reservable as of yet. Recreation.gov does not have this on their site, which I think is great. It's not, if they made this reservable, these few sites along here would cost triple. They would jack up the price on those and make all the other ones cheap, and probably only reserve the ones along the water. And I just talked to a gentleman who this is his 3rd time staying here, and he's tried out many of these. And I'm probably going to let him have the site that I'm in right now. It's beautiful. Now I'm parked in site 7. I'll be moving out of here very shortly. There are about 30 sites, but they're all easily walk down to the water. They're not all right on the water, but if you're down here, that's what you'll be listening to at night, if you can have your doors open or staying in a tent. Now this is what the sites are kind of like. You just have a small pad, rocks to keep you from swinging an RV in here. Keep it small, and just a little area for tents, table, and your fire ring. Now even this one, which isn't right on the, as close to the river, still has trail access along the river. There's a river trail running all the way along. So everybody along this stretch has this access. And if it wasn't listening to the rain, I would be listening to the river. Now, there are 2 loops here. There's the loop of lake that has a few sites right down on the river. And then there's a second loop that has half the sites are up on the hill. They're up behind me here. But they all have access to the trail. So you can just come down here, sit out here on this rock all day long if you want, get some sunshine, enjoy the river, go upstream a little bit if you want. There's some calmer section for fishing. It's just an absolutely gorgeous place to be. I just happen to be here on a misty, icky day. But it's still beautiful. So thanks for coming along this little journey of 2 distinctly different campgrounds in the Chequamegon-Nicolet National Forest on the southern edge. This is just going to be the first video of a series of them. I'm going to do as many campgrounds as I can in this section of the National Forest to give you a good idea what they're like. The other ones, a lot of them are reservable, so you're going to need to know what those sites are like. This one, you're going to show up, find the one you love that's available, spend the night, drop your 15 bucks, and enjoy. Thanks for coming along. I'll see you in the next one. Get on out there. And now I'll just let you enjoy some relaxing river sounds. Amenities. Water pumped from a Baker pump made in Evansville, Wisconsin.